Hello everybody, Kyle Broda here from fullskillsexamprep.com, and today your little mini lesson is on language tests and how it relates to you as a future RCIC. Alright, so we're going to go over three pretty big areas over the course of the day. So the first one is that we're going to take a look at language exams and how they relate to your requirements in order to write your ICCRC Full Skills Exam. We'll take a look at the support that is there for RCICs and their clients from IDP IELTS. And we'll just take a tiny little look at language exams and how this relates to a topic potentially on your ICCRC Full Skills Exam. Alright, so let's jump right into this first topic. And as you may know, before you write your ICCRC Full Skills Exam, you have to pass your diploma, you have to get your police certificates and do all sorts of things. One of those big steps, of course, is taking a language exam. Alright, so you might be wondering who actually needs to take this exam. For a lot of people, maybe they always went to English school or French school, and you've obviously taken your program in either English or French as well. So you might say, hey, I don't have to take the exam, but actually you do. So everybody has to take a language exam. It doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter if you have a PhD in English, you still have to take your language exam. So just remember there are no exceptions at all. Alright, so everybody has to take this exam, and you should start to plan accordingly, especially if you're in the middle of your immigration practitioners program right now, or if you're just about to finish. Alright, so you might be wondering what the options are for you to join the ICCRC are in terms of language exams. So you have quite a few options. You're pretty lucky with that. So you can see that you have IELTS, MELAB, CANTEST, CELPIP, and CALE. With each of these, they all have very, very, very informative websites that you should go through before you sign up for an exam, of course, because they'll give you a chance to really look through everything to see if it satisfies your needs. And also remember that in the future, when you become an immigration consultant, a lot of your clients are going to be taking these exams as well. So it's important for you to get a really good background knowledge in language exams in order to better serve your clients. And what better opportunity will you have than when you have to take the exam yourself? Okay, so you can see that the minimum scores in each one are over here. So these are the minimum requirements in order for you to proceed to write your ICCRC Full Skills Exam. In IELTS, remember that you have to take the academic version of IELTS, and with this you need a minimum score of 6.5 in each. When I say each, I mean speaking, listening, reading, and writing. Alright, for MELAB, you have an 83 overall that you need, a 3 in speaking, and a 79 in the other areas, which of course are reading, listening, and writing. For CANTEST, the minimum score that you need is a 4.5 in speaking, and a 4 in the other areas. And with CELPIP, remember with CELPIP you have to take the academic version as well, not the general one. And with CELPIP you would need a 4H in each. So that means 4H in speaking, 4H in reading, writing, and listening. And CALE allows you to get an overall score. So with CALE you'd have to get an overall score of 60. If you speak French or you want to take your language exam in French, you have two options as well. So the TEF is one option and the SLE is the other option. So for the TEF, you would need a 600 in les épreuves obligatoires and a 300 in speaking. Okay, for the SLE, you'd have to have a 67% in your writing and reading and a B- in the other areas. In general, those requirements for language exams for you are that they have to be valid for 2 years. They have to be recognized, of course. And something really interesting is that you can use substitution. So if you just can't crack the score that you need in one area, you can try a different exam, and that might help you reach your goals. Of course, those two exams that you're going to substitute for each other have to be similar. All right, and they both have to be taken within the last 12 months. Here is an example, just in case you're in a similar situation. So let's say this person took the CELPIP academic exam on May 1st and got a score of 4H in listening, 5 in reading, a 4L in writing, and a 4L in speaking. So the two scores for listening and reading would meet the ICCRC requirements, but unfortunately the scores for writing and speaking would not. So this person decided to take the IELTS exam on June 1st, and he got a 6 in listening, which would not meet the ICCRC requirements, because if you remember, you need a 6.5. But let's say he got a 7 in reading and a 6.5 in writing and a 7 in speaking. So this person, if he combines those two, then he could substitute in order to meet his requirements. All right, another question that comes up quite a bit with this area of study is people ask when they should take their exam, their language exam. We always say do it as soon as possible. If you are in your immigration practitioners program right now, maybe you're studying for your diploma or your certificate somewhere here in Canada. If you're in the middle of your program, you want to start thinking about your language exam actually, just because it's so important to get this done. If you want to wait until after your diploma program and then take your language exam, you're just adding time to how long it's going to take you to take your ICCRC Full Skills Exam. And if you wait too long to take that exam, the laws keep changing, you might lose interest, you have all those issues. So remember that your language exam is good for 2 years. So really take it as soon as possible, get this out of the way. You're not going to be allowed to write your ICCRC Full Skills Exam if you don't have your language exam results, of course. So really get this out of the way and really take it seriously as well. All right, so a question that comes up quite a bit is people ask which exam they should take. And we're going to go through this bit by bit just because it's a pretty big decision and there are a lot of options as well. So the first thing, if you're lucky enough to be bilingual, you're in a pretty good position. Just because if you're going to work in Quebec, remember that you have to register with the MIC or MIDI and also the ICCRC, of course. You do the ICCRC first and then you would join the MIC. The ICCRC accepts the following French exams. So just like we said before, they accept the TEF and the CEL. The Quebec portion of this, so the MIDI, accepts quite a few. So they accept the DELF, the DALF, the TCF, and the TEF as well. So you can see that the TEF is used for both. So if you want to save yourself the trouble, just take the one exam. If you're lucky enough to be bilingual and you have strong enough French to meet the requirements of both of those, go for it. Take the TEF and you'll be killing two birds with one stone, as they say. All right, so if you are not so bilingual like most of us, then you would need two exams. So you need the one for the ICCRC and the one for the MIDI if you're going to work in Quebec. All right, so we recommend the IELTS, of course, for the ICCRC. We'll go into a lot of those reasons why in a minute here, and the TCF for Quebec. Remember, for the IELTS exam, you need to have the academic version in order to meet your ICCRC requirements, not the general. Also remember that you need a 6.5 in each area in order to meet the minimum requirements of this as well. The website for you to sign up is right here. It's IELTSCanadaTest.com, so be sure to take a look at that and go through it to really explore the options that they give you. And of course, there's tons of free material and everything on there as well. All right, so in case you're wondering about some of those advantages of taking the IELTS exam, there are quite a few as a future RCIC. So as a future RCIC, IDP IELTS has a lot of partnership opportunities for you, and we'll get into this a little bit more later on. Of course, most of your clients, or many of your clients, are going to take the IELTS exam in order to meet their criteria in order to immigrate. So while you're studying for your IELTS exam in order to take your ICCRC Full Skills Exam, what you're really doing is acquiring more knowledge that can help your clients in the future. IELTS might pop up on your ICCRC Full Skills Exam, and of course if you study for the IELTS exam, you're going to be covered in that area. And it's available pretty much everywhere. So you're pretty lucky that it's available in almost every major city, of course, every 1 or 2 weeks. One of the things that a lot of people like about the IELTS exam as well is that the speaking portion is with an actual interviewer. rather than speaking into a computer. All right, just a tiny bit about the structure of the IELTS exam, though you'll have to take a look at the website that we mentioned before to really dig through it and really gain that knowledge. So you have a listening portion at the beginning. So it's almost always at the beginning. It's 30 minutes. So it's usually an interview or a speech or a conversation with a person, and you're going to answer those questions. Then remember that you're doing the academic version of the IELTS exam for your ICCRC requirements. And you'll see that the reading has 3 sections and 40 items in it. The writing has 2 tasks as well that take about an hour to answer. And of course, the reading and writing are different in academic versus general. And finally, your speaking. So your speaking will be about an 11 to 14 minute interview. And some centers have the speaking interview on the same day. So you would do the whole, the listening, reading, writing portion in the morning. And then in the afternoon, you do your speaking. Some other centers have speaking on another day. So that's up to you to see which one that you would prefer. Of course, like I said, take a look at the website and really go through that. Like I said as well, there's a ton of support for you as an RCIC from IDP IELTS. So they give a lot of free services, including physical information handouts for your clients or for yourselves as well, seminars, presentations for your clients as well. This one is really, really good. Those masterclass seminars, if you haven't had an opportunity to go to one, I would really recommend that you do. It's really, really great. And of course, preparation materials for you. And all of this, remember, is free. Here is the contact for you for those materials, those seminars, classes, all that type of stuff for you as an RCIC. So remember that for general IELTS information, you have the website right there. And for support for you as an RCIC, you have CJ Tremblay. So she's based in Toronto, and she is just waiting to work with you. So you go right ahead, give her a call, send her an email, and she's there to help you and your clients, of course, once you become an RCIC. So it's a very, very important contact for you and a very helpful contact as well. We've got you covered with regard to the questions in your ICCRC Full Skills Exam on page 41 of our test day data booklet. So we pretty much correlate all the scores with the CLB and also put the minimum score requirements for most of the immigration classes that require language results as a requirement. Here is an example of an IELTS question, or a language exams question really, and how it might relate to your ICCRC Full Skills Exam. So this one is on our website under free practice questions. I'll put the link up for you here as well. And be sure to take a visit just so you can really see how important language exams are in relation to your ICCRC Full Skills Exam, and of course in relation to your future career as an immigration consultant. And like I said, get this done now. If you're in the middle of your immigration practitioner diploma, get this finished right now. You don't want to delay, you don't want to wait or anything like that either. So get this little step out of the way. And as you probably saw on the website as well, we really recommend getting your police certificates done as well. So remember that your language exam results last for 2 years, unless you're taking the TEF. All right, you have to book those language exams in advance. It can't be the day before. And like I said, if you fail those exams, there are no exceptions, as we saw in the ICCRC registration requirements. So if you fail this exam, you're going to potentially delay when you can take your exam. So really get this out of the way quickly. And we get this all the time where someone is a native speaker or advanced speaker and they have difficulty in the exam. So of course, it's just like the ICCRC Full Skills Exam, just like exams in general, where part of it is knowing the content. So in this case, part of it is knowing English and part is knowing the exam as well. And of course, with your ICCRC Full Skills Exam, part of it is knowing immigration law and part of it is knowing the exam as well. All right, so a big thank you for listening. I'm Kyle Broda from Full Skills Exam Prep, and we're looking forward to, well, helping you take those other steps towards becoming an immigration consultant. Of course, come visit our website and visit our partners as well. All right, so we have IDP IELTS, of course, as a partner. They're there to help you quite a bit when you become an RCIC, and even before, of course, if you need help with your language exam. We have Integra, Scotiabank, of course, and RCIC CPD. All right, so a big thank you. Have a really great afternoon. And remember to take those steps to become an immigration consultant as early as you can. All right, thank you very much. Bye-bye.